I always want to finish the song. I'm always like, oh, I should just make it 2 minutes so I can hear the whole thing. How you guys doing?
Good.
I am wonderful. I was rocking out backstage.
I know,
I've seen
right?
that. It wasn't just Tyson this time. Matt was back there jamming too.
Can't
It's
help it.
enjoyable
Even
to
my
see.
feet hurt it.
And then you have Cruz, who during the CMU, he's up in your face, all screaming and shouting. And then this one, he's just like,
Oh, already, guys. Seriously, you can't have that much excitement all the time. I mean, really, if you came out with that much excitement all the time, I'd wonder if you were a real person or a robot.
Yeah, I think I could. Yeah, I could do it probably like 2 to 3 times a week at night. But after that, I probably can't go.
Hype it up to 3 times a week.
Yeah.
well, let's say hi to everyone. We're not going to do another intro. We're not going to do the into the stream. We're just simply just going to have that. And next week we'll slip it up. So what's up, E? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing
E-Rock US.
Rock.
Hey, Dan. What's going on, Dan?
Mr. Dan.
Ellie. Travis in here. What's up,
Travis
guys?
Tyler. 2 first names. You know what to say about guys with 2 first names? They're awesome.
What's up, Mr.
Bruce
Bruce
City.
City Bearded? How you doing, Scott?
Scott.
We got the other half of the respect right here. Jason, what's up, guys?
Jason, hope you're enjoying On the Rocks today in your new collagen gummies.
And what's up, everyone? Hey, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Ryan, how are you?
Mr. Rayon.
Vato.
Mario Lemieux's cousin, Ryan.
He loves hockey, so he might be.
Ooh.
What's up, Vato?
There's Bearded Brad.
So Bearded
How are
Brad's
you?
a stud. So real quick,
I
with
like the
Bearded
dude's
Brad,
content, man.
do you follow him, Matt?
On what?
Bearded Brad on YouTube.
I don't know, but I'm
you
about.
you like fishermen and stuff like that. He is a great contenter when it comes to fishing.
Hell yeah, I'm about
He
to.
lives in Alabama and Georgia, Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Alabama, I believe.
I just sent him stuff and I just forgot.
Yeah.
What's up, Nicholas?
What's the type of fishing that he does? It's not casual. It's like where?
Oh, he
is
does
it?
offshore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he also does
mostly.
kayaking and all that kind of stuff. And he just did a video where they had a remote control boat that had a sonar, and they went out in with the rod with the line. And they saw the sonar and where all the fish were, and he just dropped the line there. And I'm like, dude, that's
Nice.
cool.
Alabama.
Nice.
That's
Alabama.
Oh yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, no, I
I
definitely
finally know somebody from Alabama.
I followed. Roll Tide.
There you go.
Isn't that a rule? Every time you hear the word Alabama, you have to say Roll Tide.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This channel makes me feel loved. Jeez.
No comment.
Well, what's up, everyone? I'm grateful that you guys were able to come and join us today. And so today, really, I asked Matt and J Cruz just because they're intelligent. They know what they're doing when it comes to content creation, and they've created a loyal following. And I wanted to talk to them a little bit about loyalty, what it means to them, how they seem to be able to just create their content and how they do everything. Because I think it's important as a company, as myself and Casey, on making sure that we're providing good quality content for our Copper John's family. And so I really, really wanted to pick your guys' brain, and hopefully everyone in chat, you're willing to do the same for us.
Yeah, pick our brain just like a COVID test.
Dude, the first time I had one of those,
Hey,
I thought I
Daniel.
was going to die. Hey, Daniel.
This isn't like a contest, and I'm not trying to win, but I've never had one. Never had to have one.
Really?
Yep.
Have
What
you
part
had
of New York you from?
Pretty much Canada.
Okay, so upstate. All right.
Yeah, there's upstate, and then there's northern, and then there's
That's right.
us.
You told me that, Matt, at the competition.
So it's
you told me
pretty
upstate New York.
conservative where you are, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of how do I say this politely? There's a lot of people that are reserved. I feel like that's there, and don't believe in the vaccination, and don't believe in the COVID. And I said reserved, but it's probably uneducated. But either way, yeah, there. I just kind of was in a position with my old job where I wasn't around. I was in the studio pretty much all the time. So
Gosh.
if you're by yourself, I don't think you could really get it. And knock on wood, there was people around me that got it, and I never had symptoms. So I was just like, I'm good.
When I hear upstate New York, I think forest. I don't know why. Mostly
So
up there?
there's a
There's
lot of
a lot of forest,
farming,
a lot of green.
and Bearded Brad would probably like it. I know it's not
This is
saltwater
my sister
fishing.
from Florida. It's really cool to see Abby.
Well, hello.
So,
She's
Send us here, Abby.
she's 4'9" and her husband is almost tall as me or a little bit taller, 6'2", 6'3",
wow.
and it's adorable.
Yeah, that's the opposite ends of the
Does
spectrum.
she have your little hands? Does she have your little hands?
Yeah, they were just molds of her hand.
That
I'm
video,
like, hey, can I
man.
make a mold of your hand, Abby?
That's funny.
No, I tell you what, I have fun watching TikTok and YouTube and your creations, and then every now and then I'll do one with the kids, and I'm like, or my wife, my wife last night, and it's just fun.
Matt, if you don't mind me asking, how long you been on TikTok? Because I know you were one of the earlier
Forever.
creators there.
Yeah, so I was on actually Musically. Then I was kind of around. I mean, I had an account, but I wasn't really overly active in it.
Gotcha.
And then kind of when the TikTok came over, the takeover and everything, I was on there for a little bit. It's funny because I remember, I'll never kind of forget the day until I hit my head again and I forget a lot of things. But
Gotcha.
I was scrolling through Instagram, and you know how amazing their targeted ads and sponsorships are. And there was one of somebody that was like lip syncing. I was just kind of sitting there. My daughter was real young, so when they're real young and you can't really do much, you can only play Tea Party so many times. I saw the ad for TikTok and I was like, oh, I'm gonna check this out. And then I was like, oh, I already have an account. And then I guess what, 2018, 19, 17, something like that. Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
It's been a while.
Wow. Yeah.
You have almost 300,000 now, don't you?
That's cool, man.
To be honest, I don't look to something.
Yeah,
Probably.
you get to the point where I'm big.
That's
I'm
cool,
big,
man.
man.
I don't even think big. Like, I
gym.
truly just never look at likes and followers and views. Like, you guys, I feel like know me, a little bit better. Like, I just do what I want. If it's fun and I enjoy it, I put it out. I don't really have any expectations or goals, I guess.
I started to get a little more comfortable showing the goofy side on TikTok, and I think there's some success to that. Tyson's a little better at it than I am, but
thanks, man.
Just to be more like yourself and not be afraid to bust a move, or what I'm saying, get on a trend, like a sound and stuff, and just do something to your
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I kind of tell a lot of people is, one, have fun with it, obviously, because that's the whole point of it. But two is, you never know. There is no rhyme or reason why you take off on that app. I mean, look at the dude that was just in a mirror, lip syncing a song with a Power Ranger shirt on, and now has millions of followers. His life has changed.
Dude, crazy.
There's no rhyme and reason. So what's going to happen is eventually you will have a video that pops. All right. Steve, I can never pronounce his last name. He's a bearded villain. Big old beard. He's got perfect, awesome, amazing natural color. He did a video of how he puts his beard in a bun before he goes to bed. Yeah, millions of followers. Now he's on the map, and that's kind of beard talk, So if you're doing something that you truly do love and enjoy, and that's what takes off, then you're good. Because once you try to get out of your realm of whatever you're kind of known for, it's just gonna go bad.
Not gonna lie, I'm sorry to interrupt, but this Bearded Brad is a prime example of what you're talking about. When he was on last Tuesday with us, last Tuesday, when are we on? Wednesday. I know. What's today? Last Wednesday, he had 600 people. He had one video go viral of him catching a red drumfish, and now he has over 30,000. Yeah, I mean, where else on social media can you go from that? I mean, like, he's been on YouTube for how long, and has 20-something thousand subscribers. Obviously, it's a different animal. I'm not trying to compare that, but you can go from that to that overnight. With
takes a video.
So make sure you're doing something you enjoy, because if you're doing something that you truly don't enjoy, you're just doing it to get views, you're going to get stuck there.
Yeah. So, okay. So why don't we get started with, or we're going to be talking about this all day. So, like I said, I want to talk a little bit about loyalty and what it is, and how you guys have kind of created a loyal fan base, because a lot of people come to you because they're fans of your content and fans of what you do. So, to me, first of all, the question is, and again, this is to everyone, what is loyalty? What's loyalty to you guys?
You want me to go first?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So I guess to me, loyalty is, being proud of a brand. Like, just being a part of it, being a part of the community, you know, just genuinely being excited to use the product or wear the product or be a part of the product. And, you know, for me, you know, if everybody's super excited, I guess in your case, to wear and rock your product and be a part of the family, like that's organic because they truly believe in it, you know, and they purchase it and they tell their friends about it. And when somebody's that passionate about it, they're going to be loyal to you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think for me, I think it has to do with connection, right? Do you feel connected to that brand? Do you feel connected to what they represent? How do their products make you feel, right? An emotion attachment to it, right? So it's for me, loyalty with a brand has to do with connections, and you believe, right? You believe in what they're doing. Sometimes you see companies that have kind of like mottos or mission statements, and you feel connected to that as well. So those are some things I would say as it relates to business and loyalty. Yeah.
Casey, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, when I looked up the definition of loyalty, and it, you know, it basically genuinely having the best interests in mind for everyone in the party, making sure the relationship is reciprocal, and has some meaning for growth. I think that's a good definition of loyalty. There's lots of aspects that come in creating loyalty, and we'll get into that more as we get into the discussion here, but yeah, just genuinely having the best interests in mind for both parties.
Absolutely. So you just said that, both parties. So then what is loyalty based on?
I guess I would say, in my personal opinion, I would say trust, truth, trust, faith, building that positive relationship.
Nice. What about you two? Sorry, I love this stuff. So what's it based on?
I'd say transparency.
Ooh,
I think
really
transparency equals authentic, being authentic, right? So people want authentic. They don't want something that looks too perfect all the time, and it's not that, right? People want to be connected to real. They don't want to be connected to.
Do you think that's why TikTok's so big right now? Is because it's real?
What, Matt?
Is it? Is it real?
Well,
I don't know. It seems like it is. But
Yeah.
Matt, why
that
don't you
could be
answer? What's it based on?
debate.
No, I mean, no, I think that's great points too. And, you know, and to me too, it comes down to kind of ownership, you know, if in my mind, like if I could hang out, you know, have a beer, have a great conversation, a cup of coffee, you know, with an owner or owners, like to me, like that's going to be great because like I believe in their, you know, same goals and everything. So, I mean, like with you, like we could sit down and probably talk for 4 days.
Oh, easily. Absolutely. I agree with that.
When it says going to Matt's point, I mean, I would think, right, that TikTok kind of, and Matt, you let me know what you think. I think TikTok allows the platform for authentic content and authentic connections. That's why from some of the content creators that I follow on TikTok that, you know, they do this for a living, some of the things they suggest is like, just use your phone. Don't overdo overproduction when it comes to videos, because if anything, TikTok is looking for original content, not overproduction. So what do you think? What do you say to that point?
I mean, I say like, is it real based on, you know, I think it's easy for someone to be in that 15, 30, 60 second, be this person, but then they are not this person. And the only reason I say, and this isn't in particular to any person, but there's been some people that I've tried to get on the show, get to interview, and they're like, no, I can't do live. Like how you see me here is not how I am. Like I'm good at this with the camera here, but like I don't like people. I don't like talking. Like so they give kind of, and maybe it's us as viewers or fans or loyal, you know, followers or whatever, where we expect them to be one way, but they're really somebody else. So that's why I was like, is it real?
So almost like a reality star type of vibe where they're kind of telling you what to do behind scenes. You act that way, and then when it's done, you're a different person.
Yep. And I mean that's and like I said, I know a handful of people like that. It doesn't make them whatever. They're just comfortable behind the camera, but when they're, you know, face to face, they're just very.
It's true. There's a lot of introverts out there that are really, really succeeding in TikTok land and YouTube land and Instagram land, all that stuff.
Yep. And it's helped them a lot from talking to them, kind of be a little more sociable by being able to have some success and be able to kind of talk and connect with people. So.
Ooh, never thought of that. Hey, Casey, I'm not checking the comment section. If we miss a question or anything, can you make sure that
I'm checking?
It's
just they're all just saying hi to each other yet. Still, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's totally cool. I just wanted to mention that. So
Yeah.
but okay, here's a question, you two and Casey.
Yep.
Why is loyalty specifically important to you and your brand? So Casey or Cruz, you are healthy bearded.
Mhm.
Why is it loyal? Why is it important that people are loyal to the CMU and loyal to you? And same with you, Matt, who is Beardlaws. Why is that important to you?
Just for the sake of the conversation, I think the term I would use is like, I don't want to use so much loyalty, but I think it's the word I want to use is connection. Why connections and relationships are important to me and my platform and the CMU, right?
I love that.
We have 100 people, right? 90 to 100 people on a Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at it like this is a family. This is these people. I don't know. Some of the most of like 95% of the people in the audience don't live in my state, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've built these relationships with them. They've made me laugh, sometimes at my expense, but but they've made me laugh. I've made them laugh. We've shared conversations. I'm real big on cultures, bringing cultures together. I've always said that. And so meeting these people, all these friends and brothers and sisters that have become part of what's the CMU family, bro, I mean, I take a lot of pride in that, because my philosophy to help me stay kind of in line is always to remember that no one owes me anything, and that these relationships are formed authentically, and at the same time, they come there to be connected to a family in a way. So that's how I answer that.
Nice.
Dude, that's an amazing comment. I like that. Like, I think loyalty does come with connection. And because you're loyal, like Casey was saying, the definition of loyalty is a connection between two people and they're loyal to each other. And I like that when you said connection. I think that's a great example.
Yeah. And I guess for me, I don't know if important's a word, because like we kind of talked about, like the views, this and that, the followers, it's more quality over quantity. I'd rather have just a great group of people that, I can turn to. It doesn't matter the content. And to be honest, with the live shows, I'm not sure why some people show up. I know that sometimes they just need a laugh, and, they reach out, and sometimes they need beard education. Sometimes they just want a funny video, and I'll send them one. So like for me, it's, I guess, important to be able, like you guys said, with the positivity, just make somebody laugh. Like since I was a kid, it's always been my goal every single day to make somebody smile, and I pass it on to the kids. And it's just something for me. Like I genuinely do it a little bit for myself, for something to do and keep me out of trouble, but a lot of it's just to make some people smile and just have some fun and make some new connections and friends, like you guys.
Yeah.
It's like a barbecue. I look at it like a barbecue, and everyone's invited to the barbecue. Like in the neighborhood, if me and my friends get together, this person brings that person, this person brings that plate, that drink, and at the end of it, it's a whole block party,
Oh, for sure.
So, yeah.
So what does it take for you to become loyal to another show, another company, something like that? What does it take for you personally to feel that connection, so to speak, as how you put it, Cruz?
Like another live show, like a stream or
company.
something?
So for instance, let's take me out of it, the Copper Johns out of it, because you and I, we have a really good friendship. I really do believe that. Like you and I, take Copper Johns away, you and I are hanging out.
Yeah.
Same with you, Matt. So question though is, so what is it? So you love Bustelo.
Of course.
What caused you to love Bustelo?
Well, it spoke to me. It's part of my culture, right? Coffee. Growing up in the house, we would always have Bustelo, and the family gets together and drink coffee, tell stories, crack jokes, get into arguments. It's like something that brings us together, right? So if you look, if we're talking about other live streams, right? I'm part of a community, the bearded community. You see, like my brother Dan, Command Corner. That's another place to be where it's family and everyone's there for a good time. Ken on Mondays, right? Ken's doing content, like his niche now is content coaching. So it's that and learning, and hearing what he has to say. So again, for me, man, it comes back to that connection. Something has to connect you in regards to that business, that platform, that brand. That simple. Connections. That's the answer I would say for that.
Love it.
Yeah, it's well said. Yeah, well said. And for me, it's kind of the same thing. You got to have a connection. I have to really like the owners and what they're behind, and kind of like we mentioned a little bit earlier. Like obviously, you see these hats. I wear these hats all the time. I don't wear them because there's no money involved. For me to genuinely become loyal to a company are products that I purchase, that I love to support, that I just love to be a part of the crew because I love it. From whether it's something that I'm drinking a beer really fastly with, a tool, or whether it's what I mean, a hat, a shirt, whatever it is. For me, I truly love, and I think you guys know, like I love helping small companies. Like it is just something for me. Like I don't think I've ever asked a small company for money. You know what I mean? If they wanted to send me something, I would do my best to be able to help what it is. And that's something for me, but it's got to be a company that I love, that, some stuff that I want. Like for me, like I love coffee and stuff like this, but if somebody was like, hey, I'll give you $1,000 if you want to promote this nail polish, I'm not going to promote it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that I personally love and enjoy, but I know people that rock nail polish. Why don't you send them to this person? Like I know a couple of my dudes, they rock black nail polish. I'd be like, hook them up, send it over to them,
Yeah. I wear this hat because it's the only one that fits me, by the way. I got a big head. I do. It's very comfortable.
Yeah.
No, but I like
that's me too. And I just have it on backwards so that because I have the light coming down. So
it's the most comfortable one.
All right. So how about this? So does content engagement does that mean that you have a loyal following, or are they coming just for the hangout, or are they coming because they're loyal to you?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it could be all of them. You know what I mean? Like if you have good engagement and you have good feedback and you have lots of comments, I think the content is relatable. People obviously can relate to it. They enjoy it and they want to be a part of, the whole experience.
Nice. What about you, Cruz?
Can you repeat that again?
Yeah. So what is it? So does content engagement mean you have a loyal following?
I don't know because here's the thing. Okay, you can have a following, but I don't think, for example, man, I think of influencers on Instagram, right? They might have like tens and thousands of followers, but if they drop a product, will people really buy into it?
Yeah.
And I say that because it goes back to the creating connections, creating being authentically you. Because I think once people feel that and they really see that this is who you are, flaws and all, right? They feel more like, hey, that's my brother, man. That's my that's my sister, whatever the case may be. And that person's a real person. You know what I mean? They have their struggles. I talk openly about my obesity and trying to lose weight, and I even talk about mental health awareness, and you know what I'm saying? So I think it's putting yourself out there on the platform and being authentically you. That's what's really builds that strong following and connection with the people that watch you.
Yeah. And I think, if like kind of to your point, if there's say an Instagram person that I follow, big following, small following or something, they're passionate about a product. You know what I mean? And it's something that you can tell that they enjoy this product, not that they're getting paid. Even if they are, so what? But if they're very passionate about it, or you know what I mean, then I'm intrigued by the product. I'm probably going to reach out, or I'm going to look into it and be like, man, if this helps them and it's something that I would enjoy, I'm all in. But if it's, again, with, a product that doesn't quite make sense to them, why would people just jump on it? But there's a lot of, content creators, and athletes and people that wear a product, whether because they enjoy it or they're paid to do it. People buy it just because they saw this person rocking it, Is that loyalty, or is that just the sheep mentality? Like
influence, right?
Gotta have it,
influence, right? That's a part of influence, right? So that's why these companies reach out to, if you're a nano, micro, or big time influencer. I mean, that's part of the game in a way.
It is.
It's true. I mean, when I was a kid, I was huge in LA Converse. If you guys remember LA Converse, like now they're just they have Converse, but it was LA. No, LA Gear. Sorry,
LA Gear.
LA Gear. And Karl Malone was sponsored by LA Gear, and I was a huge jazz fan. I was a huge Mailman Karl Malone fan.
Yeah.
And because he had those shoes, guess what shoes I had?
Yeah.
And so I felt a connection to him because he's from my home state. I loved basketball. Gotcha. And so I felt very loyal to him, even though he had no freaking clue who I was.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point too. You know, with the proximity, like he's from your state and this and that. And for me, if there was products, like there's a coffee company that I recently had some coffee when I was at a mall 2 hours away. Local coffee company that's doing a great thing. I will support them all the time. You know what I mean? If and there's local companies here that I love supporting local small businesses, and that's a big part of me too, and that's why I would love, maybe someday there's going to be some great fits with some local companies that I can try to help out, and I'm surprised nobody's really ever reached out.
You like coffee like that? Oh, we gotta talk.
I love coffee. I mean, it's funny because I love coffee.
I thought you were just a huge beer person. I didn't know you like
coffee. Yeah,
I
know. Yeah.
Well, you can't drink beer in the morning at my job.
True.
But I love coffee. Like I like, I've really only been drinking coffee straight up for 8 years. When my daughter was born, I started because I could not stay awake. I don't drink soda. I have no caffeine. The only time I ever really drank caffeine was when I went through like a weird Red Bull and vodka stage, which was probably took like 8 years off my life. So like 1 cup of coffee, like, and people make fun of me because I'll pour it in the morning, and I got one of those cups that kind of like keep it super hot all day. So like I don't usually finish my coffee till like lunchtime. Like I'm a slow sipper, and
and you enjoy it, right? You take your time, enjoy the flavor. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yep. Speaking of brand, like there's I did a TikTok on my personal page today on this company called Tepito, and they're based. Yeah, they're based out of California, and I kind of connect with them. They kind of grew up, like the owners grew up in Los Angeles, on the streets, and they get all their products. They're connected with this organization called Homeboy Industries. I kid you not.
Wow.
And but they get their beans from Mexico, and they're able to like let you know exactly what land in Mexico they get it from, and they tell the story. So there's cultural aspects of the brand, and I feel connected to it. And I'm like, you see, so that type of stuff, as it relates to loyalty and brands, connected. You feel connected to it.
Yeah, when it hits the soul and just feels good. I mean, it just feels good, right?
So Casey, what do you think?
Tell him, Andy.
You haven't really said
I stepped away for a second. We're still on the
so we can move forward, but does content engagement mean loyal following?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of heard the start of Cruz's what he said there, and I was kind of hesitant on that too when I first read it. Like, no, not necessarily. Content can definitely help build closer relationships with customers or with with the people you're trying to reach. It can also build trust. So those are 2 things that it can help create loyalty, I guess.
Yeah. Well said.
Absolutely. So here's another question for you guys. So now we're moving away from loyalty to content creation, and creating loyalty through content creation. So how much content is required to maintain and grow your base following?
Ooh, that's a good one. For me, I would personally say daily content at least. And I guess it depends on, and you guys know, each platform is different. So, I mean, putting out daily YouTube content at, beneficial, like educational, that stuff probably isn't manageable. But with the mindset of everybody, I think everybody has an attention span of like this, oh, squirrel.
True.
And with everything being kind of short content creation and stuff, I personally think, you should at least do 1 or 2 videos on each platform, daily. And that's my take. Because I think, if it's one of these things, if you stop putting out content, then they're going to stop thinking about you and who is this guy, and
it's true. You know what that reminds me of what you just said? When NBC canceled Conan, I watched Conan all the time. I was a huge fan of him. I thought it was an amazing late night show, the Tonight Show. They canceled him, brought in Jimmy Fallon, and when they canceled him, paid him off, says, "Okay, you can go to TNT where he was, but you cannot start for 6 months or something like that." I forgot all about him, and then I became a loyal fan of Jimmy Fallon, and I never went back to Conan.
Yeah.
And I think what you're saying is exactly, you have to put yourself out there or people will forget.
Yep.
I think for me, YouTube's a different animal. I think you have to be more intentional. I think that one is a little bit more of being strategic and more like quality over quantity. Because people will know what if you really are putting effort into your content. When I look at Instagram and I look at TikTok, I think those are more. Well, TikTok you can do a educational too, obviously at a shorter format. But when you look at those are more like behind the curtain type content for me. It's like connecting more on a deeper level with the people that you're associated with, you're friends with, and them kind of seeing all of you, right? Because for example, like I know Matt does his show on Tuesdays as well. They only see you there if they're just YouTube followers, right? They're just seeing you there for that hour, 2 hours that you're on there. But what if they don't go anywhere else to see you, right? They want to feel connected to you as well. So I think YouTube has its place, and all of them have different ways to engage with the people that follow you and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, and to kind of tail end on that, it's the way that you put out a TikTok content is probably going to be a lot different for most cases. Not everybody, but your YouTube. You know what I mean? The content is a little bit different, so you probably will have different kind of viewers. Like the Tuesday show isn't for a lot of people. Like it's a much different style show that's not, which is ironic because it's not very TikTok friendly. Like if we put a show up there, we're probably getting shut down on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny how that works, and maybe that's a fault of mine that I should get better at. But I told you guys, I care, but at the same point, like I'm just me, I'm gonna put out what I want, and it's just different all over the place,
Well, and that's the thing though, is also just kind of like in high school or anything like that, you bond and you create relationships with people like you. And so the people who like what you have to bring are going to find you, and then
they're there every week. Same both your guys' channels. You have the same guys almost every week in chats, and so you've definitely built that loyalty with the people that come to your chats every week. So
yeah.
Hey, Jason.
Absolutely.
Hey,
what's up, Jason?
So you kind of mentioned this, Cruz, but because of you have to be strategic about this and all that kind of stuff. But how can content create trust?
Ooh.
Honesty, right?
100%.
Honesty, respect. Because like, let's say you do a beard products review, in my case, and you're very disrespectful. There's one thing to do something like you can not have a great experience with a product, but do it in a disrespectful way. You may gain some brownie points you may gain some brownie points with certain people, but in some way or another, it's not a good look for you to do it like that, because it's really how can people trust you with what they're giving you, right? So if it's a company, they trust you. They trust that you'll be a professional, but you'll be honest. So
and you build that trust through that rapport. So the more and more you make that positive content and you put that positive content, that out, you're building that rapport more and more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And at the same time, if you're being you and that's who you are with the positivity and stuff, and kind of on the other spectrum, I've seen, a handful of people that, they put out this one type of content, but in real life, in actuality, they're like a totally different person. So at the end of the day, it becomes very transparent, like you mentioned earlier, that's not really who they are, and that's gonna be bad for the brand.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, because you are a brand.
Yeah.
Yep.
I 100% believe that. Like as a company owner, I will reach out to that brand because you guys have and not, I'm hoping that you guys enjoy the product when I send it, but I know for a fact that you will be honest because I trust what you're saying.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to say I don't know. I mean, even with me, right? That's just me being transparent. There's some questions that I may get asked, and it's like, oh, brother, let me get back to you. I'm not sure. And I'm not too proud to ask someone like Dan or someone else, like, hey man, do you know what this is or how to be careful.
Well, I asked both of you. I asked Matt a ton of questions. I asked you, Cruz, a ton of questions, and a lot of other people. I'll just reach out and like, hey guys, this is what I'm thinking. You're like, no, that's a dumb idea. or I'll post something and Cruz like, dude, you need to take that down. Like, oh really? Oh my bad.
But having the willingness to listen to that feedback and take that in and do something different next time. That's
how you develop trust with your circle though, right?
Yeah.
Your circle really wants you to win, and they trust that you can trust them, that they're going to be honest with you and share what they feel, even when it's tough conversations even to have, and it's like, okay, well, if we're trusting each other and we really rock with each other like that, how do we maneuver through this? So
well, that's
having those healthy conversations. That's something I wrote down too. Having healthy conversations in the content will create that trust too. Yes.
Well, and that's why I always say Copper family, because everyone who's here is very, very consistent in coming and showing support to us and us to them. And because I feel like, I'm going to listen to these guys and I'm going to say, hey, I had a lot of people ask on these, say, hey, what will you do a monthly subscription so we can do Sense? So I'm like, that's a great idea. We'll do it. Or other things like that. It's like, hey, but a lot of the times when it comes to content or beard related questions, I ask you two specifically.
Yeah.
So anyway, I lost my train of thought of what was the next question.
It was the one after the one you just asked.
I know. So this is to both of you guys. So you have a loyal fan base of bearded men. What type of content have you created, specifically, Matt? Because you've been doing this for 5 more years than all of us. What has brought about more engagement? Because I feel like we do all of us, including in the chat, we have all created content, and our primary target is bearded men. So what have you done to create that trust, both of you, specifically?
Yeah, I think for me, like you guys I was kind of early in the game, and my whole thing, obviously, is the whole when somebody shaves a beard kind of reaction video, that's kind of there. But then, it always will segue, because there's always going to be beard related questions that come from it, because you see a beard or you see whatever, they're going to say, hey, I've been doing this for so long. How do I fix this? Or and then you start to see a pattern of, the same kind of questions and content. So then what I do is I'll go over to YouTube. I'll say, hey, this question's popped up 8,000 times. Let me just put out a quick little video of it. And then, I'll be on a TikTok live and there'll be all sorts of questions. And I'll be like, you can check out the YouTube if you want, because I just don't want to say the same answer to the same question 4,000 times. I don't want to be a jerk. But, that's there. And I think it's important for me personally, to have, these bearded, men come at you with questions. And for me, I give what has worked for me based on things that didn't work for me. Like, you know what I mean? I could probably get on there and Google things, but it's so different for every person that I just share experiences and things that have worked with me and that I've just kind of learned over, the years and years of me having a beard,
Yeah. Love it. Cruz?
Yeah, a couple of different things. And I think more recently I've had more success with this is creating content a little bit outside the norm, right? Because we have a lot of great content creators that do beard stuff, but it's like, okay, what can I do different? Like, what can I do different to stand out from this? Because I just got here and there's the beard community as a whole. It's been here for like 3 years. I'm only on year 1 and like 1 year and 3 months. So I started going a little bit into barbering and incorporating my barber.
I love that.
And going to his shop and doing content there, or calling him on a FaceTime and putting him in the video and having a discussion on beard care through cosmetology school, barbering school, right? So things that, because at the end of the day, especially in my neighborhood, like not too many brothers trim their beard. Okay, like they go to the barber for that, right? So it's a different culture down over here in Jersey. So how do you find the right barber for your beard? Oh, I got a video for that. So it's like finding that. I told you one of the things that I'm recently going to start doing is doing like those in-haul store videos. Like, hopefully I don't get caught, but like, like going to Target and finding the best beard products in Target, Costco, Walmart, and having conversations, like doing that, reactions with the microphone, all that. So those are things that I'm doing that I don't see happening within my niche. So this is how I'm going to bring a different level of content. What I realize, people really love that content. It's very engaging, so they enjoy it. Those are some of my higher view videos. And of course, the CMU, the community meetup, that's another form of my content. And I've like, if you followed me since the beginning, and I know a couple of people here have been with me since I got here, you see the trajectory and how I started and how this space looked and what mic I had, and you know how I used to try to do certain things with the show. And then I got a Rodecaster Pro, then I started adding music, then I started adding slides, then I started adding sound effects little by little to bring something, you know, special to like what I wanted to do with my platform. So
do you guys worry about demographics at all?
That's there's a big gap, you know, and there's a huge demographic difference in the community. I mean, you've got younger guys, you've got a lot of older guys, so it is something, you know, something probably to think about when you're talking about content, beard companies, whatever, how to grasp a hold of each demographic.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that you know, like even I should probably think about, and especially being in kind of like a single kind of niche, or anyways, you know, like we're bearded, pretty much men, or people that have bearded men in their life, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're already in a kind of a smaller kind of playing field, I guess, you know, and I think the demographic in the way that social media works now, they're going to kind of pitch it to them who's right for it anyway. So I don't overly stress on putting out, you know, the right song maybe on TikTok, for instance, to hit a younger generation, or a song maybe to hit an older generation. Like there's those things, but I mean, there's so many different things in algorithms that I think they're going to kind of feed them. But maybe if you're paying for targeted ads and stuff, I think you definitely need to pay attention on, you know, the demographics and stuff. And when you start to look into it, because I have looked into the markets and stuff, it would really surprise you, like which areas are more beard, you know, searches and stuff through Google, and more beard searches, you know, through this and that. Like it's some crazy places. Like you're like, oh, I guess it makes sense, right? They have internet there.
Yeah.
I think I like well, I do think of demographics, but in the sense of how do I reach across everywhere? Like that's my focus. So like, how do I expand the culture? Like, how do I expand the beard culture? How do I get to know people from this demographic, this age group, and how do I bring content to them? Right. One of the benefits, right? I want to eventually really get more and more into that Spanish content. You know what I'm saying? To hit another demographic. So, because like I said, one of my goals is to expand the beard culture, and that may look different, man. That may look different for different.
I think the culture is different, so it will look different for sure.
I'm thankful through TikTok to be able to meet people from all over the world.
Yeah,
and I'm very thankful for that translation button now that they have on TikTok. Understand what they're saying, kind of, and I've been able to help people from all over, and it's cool to see people start to pop in to different lives when they're there, which it makes sense why it doesn't roll over to a lot of other platforms, because they don't speak English. Like, could you imagine going into a live show in a language that you can't speak? Like, you know, and that's kind of, you know, what they've kind of been said. They're like, hey, is there any chance you can, you know, partner up with somebody that speaks this language so we can have a show? And I'm like, probably not. Like, how would I have this conversation with somebody that doesn't speak my language? But I mean, it's a pretty cool thing to think about.
So, and all this stuff has kind of been on my mind because, you know, as Copper Johns, I'm trying to figure out, you know, I love the people in this chat. I love those who have ordered and not who have ordered from me, but like I have continuous conversations with a lot of people, and I'm grateful for it. But at the same time, I'm like, how do I create a larger audience? What do we need to do so that more people get the experience that we're trying to, you know, portray and all that kind of stuff? So I really appreciate your guys' input. So the next question is what content or what makes people not come to your content or engage in your content? Because I'm sure that's got to happen occasionally.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a handful of people that don't come to mind that are not bearded, hate beards, and then sometimes you just get a whole bunch of people that hate beards and they come in just to throw hate, which is funny. Like, I genuinely enjoy that. But I mean, like, in not a lot of women, honestly, because they, being Beardlaws or having beard in your name, you're instantly probably going to lose out on a lot of people, because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not going to come to your show. Like, I don't care anything about beards. Like, why do I want to watch 4 to 6 grown men talk about beard stuff? And I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of those, but actually it's the exact opposite. And we have some women that have randomly stumbled upon our show, and they've been at the show ever since. They're like, wow, this has nothing to do with beards.
You have quite a few women actually in your stream.
Yeah. Which is cool to me, because like the word is getting out a little bit that we don't talk beards, which, then there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I could all day, obviously.
Yeah, we both, all of us can. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just something to, and I think real quick too, and I'll let you guys answer. But like, when you get a video that's kind of, popping on one social media, I think it's important to take advantage, start to get that on the other social medias, and whether it be a question or an answer, and then that'll kind of organically bring new people, new audiences, new comments and stuff to your other stuff. Because yes, I know it's 2022. They know that you can go to any link and click a bio, but you really have to make something stand out for them to want to go and click it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Billy, I'll ask that question as soon as we're done with this question. It's a great question.
I think there's lots of things that can, keep people from either just first watching and clicking, making that click, interests. If the interests differ, like Matt was talking about, the way the communication is handled, how different languages aren't going to be interpreted, right. Or so that can play a factor. Explicit content, some people don't like it. There's all different kinds of content out there that can, how you handle the content. And then just, any more these days, people's relationships with other creators can also make an impact on that. So lots of different things can impact the interaction with the content. But yeah, I guess those are just several different things I came up with when I was thinking about that.
Nice. Yeah.
What do you think, Cruz? You seem like you're about to fall asleep, man.
No. I was thinking of something. I was looking at Billy's comment also.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. What was the question? I'm sorry. I really faded out. I'm so sorry. I faded out.
I know. That's what I mean. It's like you look like you're sleeping. No. So what do you think makes people not want to come to your channel?
That's a good question. I don't know. I've been man, and I had a great conversation with someone the other day about my content and what some of the things. So like recently, I just started a series called Self-Care Sundays, and that's to get a little bit more into the self-care part of grooming, right? Like
I love that too.
Getting into soap and stuff like that. Because for me, it helps me on my weight loss journey when I'm consistently taking care of myself in that regard, right? So that's something that I want to do to maybe also help a little bit with the reach as well. But my name is Healthy Bearded. So my whole mission statement was I'm on a mission to become a healthy bearded person. And I do that by taking care of myself. And one of the things I do is beard care. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So
Shaky's question was, how do you get over the creative funk? He says, I have plenty of things I can record. However, after 13, 14 hours of shift, all I want to do is crash when I get home.
For me, I'm thinking, if just record, because what defines a creative funk? Like, is it something that you don't think is good? Because there's a lot of people, you know what I mean, that you throw something out there just because you may not love it. There might be a lot of people that do it, but at the end of the day, like, if you're in that funk, it just means that whatever you're creating, whatever space you're in, you probably don't truly enjoy it. Because, for me, I can sit down and create 10 videos in like 30 minutes because it's just stuff that I truly enjoy to do. You know what I mean?
You quit showing off there, Matt.
and I take my pride. Everything that I put out is one take. If I don't like it, I delete it and I move on. I'm a one take guy, from the YouTubes to everything that I put out.
I can't do that. I overthink too much. That's part of my problem too. I overthink. Will the viewer like it? Do I capture the right energy? Like, like is the lighting, is the sound? How does this sound? Or I mean, sometimes even in my videos, like I'll stumble over a word, but I'll leave it there because it's like it is what it is, man. I'm not perfect, so I gotta put the content out.
Even
When
YouTube took down the thumbs down button, so just put that stuff out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When I started recording, I
Yeah.
was editing out every even in between some breaths. If there was something going, I was trying to edit all that out.
Yeah.
You can't. The video becomes so blocked together that it's not even watchable. So leaving some of that in there is important. It makes it real, like you guys were saying before.
And who likes to really sit down and edit stuff all the time? Come on.
True.
Yeah, Ken loves to. Ken edits really well, so I don't know.
He does. I mean, if you're really good at it, and that's kind of your wheelhouse right now, like,
Ken's the man.
So what are 3 things that you guys would say to just avoid when it comes to content creation, or what are 3 things you guys have avoided to maybe keep people interested and keep people coming back?
Politics, religion, and shaving a beard.
There you go.
Well, next time you're on,
Never
that's what we're
shave them.
talking about. It's going to be awkward, I guess.
Yeah. No, those are a couple of things for me that I kind of, my view on this is, if I'm not going to really talk about it in real life, if I'm at a bar having a conversation with buddies, random people, whatever, that's the type of stuff I'm going to put out. I'm not going to put out that heated, controversial debate, which some people, they live for it. That's just not me. That's not what I want to put out. And I'm not an overly trendy guy, because at the end of the day, the content that I put out, I know eventually, the kids are going to see, my coworkers see, my family see. So I'm not going to be that guy that puts out stuff that, I don't know. I've never really been embarrassed. I don't know what it feels like, but I'm not going to put out stuff that people are going to be like, you really did that? Like, I got content creators. My buddy Iron Sanctuary, he wears dresses and stuff all the time. Good for him. You know what I mean? He rocks them. I'm not going to wear a dress. Like, that's just something that I'm not going to put out there. Like, I never hear the end of it from my coworkers.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
You know what I mean? But like, that's my take on it.
For me, it's definitely like kind of the same thing, right? Politics, I don't really talk about on my public platforms. Religion too, right? I'm not really going into religions and stuff like that to talk about that. And the other thing, which I got to give a big shout out to my close friend, that gave me this advice early on in my content creation. He said, never address drama publicly. Never. No matter what you do, never address it. Don't give it a time of day. Don't do none of that.
It'll always go away.
Yeah, like don't call names. Don't do none of that. And I didn't think like, man, like it's one thing if I'm mad or something, I go to my boys and we talk about it, right? And I get it off my chest because I'm pissed or whatever. But it wasn't until an owner one time hit me up and they were like, man, I just want to let you know, I want to say thank you for having a platform where it's drama free. I was like, dang, yo, my boy was right. So, I know it's difficult sometimes and, everyone's different, but I remember that piece of advice, man, and it's been helpful since I got here.
Advice.
As humans, we want to stand up for the one next to us. We want to stand up for our friend. We want to, make our opinions known sometimes, but it is good to just step back and let the things kind of just fall into place where they should be,
I mean, some people have made careers out of drama. And that it cannot leave you in a great mental state if that's like what you're known for. Like, that's got to be terrible. I couldn't imagine.
So I just gotta emphasize this. Vato always is joking around, and I love, but this is the truth. That's the hardest thing to do, Cruz. Much respect to the ones that do that. I agree completely. So it's awesome. So Cruz and I are close. So it's not a secret to anyone, and we've had not issues, not arguments, but we've had disagreements in certain things where Cruz comes to me, and I love it. So it's like it's off our chest. We're done. Let's go.
Yeah, and that's
he doesn't address it in public. I don't address anything in public. It's like, hey, this is what's going on, and we're not mad at each other. Here's the thing about this. Sorry, you're going to be on a tangent. is there's ways to communicate, and are you criticizing to criticize and make yourself look better? Are you criticizing to help?
Yeah.
And there's two different ways. If you're actually coming to me and saying, hey, we have a problem, and it's personal and it's one-on-one and you're not making anyone look bad, then let's talk. So I think Cruz is very good about that.
No, that has to do with like straight up respect and friendships. Like I have friends in this community. We don't always agree, but there's always a sense of respect. And if there's a point where
my friend,
I may feel certain type of way, you may feel certain type of way, that mutual respect that you can tell me how you feel. And I want you to be honest. I may feel uncomfortable. I might do something that I didn't think that way, how you thought. And I'm like, oh man, but that's part of friendships and respect. Like, okay, you learn from that. And you move forward, and we move forward. And those are the relationships you want to have because there's that mutual respect and you can build from it. So
that goes back to that first statement I said about loyalty, when if you have two parties that are trying to work with each other for growth and try to build that, to build something meaningful, not just trying to criticize or all the time. It's something meaningful that's meant for growth.
I tell my friends I tell with Ken and Dan, I say, man, if my content is trash, tell me it's trash. All right. I don't want to don't sugarcoat it, because I'm trying to get better. So, it's good to be honest.
Yep.
Well, we're starting to kind of wind down. Do you guys have anything you want to touch base on before we take off? Dude, it was a quick hour. I'm not going to lie.
It was real quick.
Very quick.
Like 30 minutes.
Yeah. And Cruz even fell asleep in the middle of it.
That's why
I literally faded, man. I was like
30 minutes.
Not all of us got a midstream nap.
I don't know how I drank coffee. I don't know how it happened.
And if anyone has any other questions for Matt, I did see one pop up earlier that I will bring up. What was your first video to hit on TikTok?
My first video to pop was when I did my first Beardlaw, which was Beardlaw 14. If you touch my beard without asking, I'll touch your butt without asking. And I kind of started out with hey, and I remember because it was, before all the cool kids did, TikToks in their bathroom. That's where I did, because that's where the best lighting was in my house. And so I just did one. I was like, a lot of people might not know, there's actual beard laws to protect us bearded guys, and did that one, and then did a couple of the beard laws for a little bit, and then it was right around the time where I actually was getting ready to get off TikTok, because you guys should be very thankful you're on this TikTok. The original one was not good. It was a very rough place. I've read some articles where they actually kind of designed it to be almost like a online homeless style community where you can get on this app and kind of ask for money, get donations.
Wow.
Before you're kind of like on the streets asking for it. And that's what a lot of it was. Like, you'd be sitting there and there was, people asking for money for, to give diapers to their kids, and asking for money for this. And then it just became people always wanting money and expecting money. And it was just like, man, this is dumb. Which TikTok was, getting 60 something.
They just recently changed their user agreements. They got more stricter with everything, right? Even when it comes to like violent content and stuff like that, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
they should. It's just like the bigger you get, the more stupid things you see, and you're like, "Ooh, probably shouldn't do that."
Yeah, I mean,
it's because some people are so creative or so weird.
I like
they
the hood
create
pranks,
content that should not be shown.
There's other countries that monitor their TikTok even a lot more than we do.
Okay,
So there's a lot of content that they really have to go through, because obviously every culture is a little bit different, but there's very extreme videos from very sick people that hit the app.
Thanks, Brett.
So they have to be on top of things,
Yeah.
Just want to say thanks, Brett. And then Vato has a question for you too. What about saying something that is not necessarily true, but it is going to bring traffic?
Ooh, I wouldn't do it.
No, that's what's that word? Cheap views. Those are cheap views. I had a situation like this kind of happen to me one time in regards to a company. All my peers were putting out their reviews, and the company, it was not a good product. Now I know we all have different beers, but I'm talking about almost every single reviewer was saying that the product was not good. The company reached out to me and they're like, "Hey man, like we want you to do a review," and I said I didn't like take it because at that point it would have been a hit piece, and I know it would have been a hit piece. And that just would have I would have got a whole bunch of views, but it would have been a hit piece, and that's not cool.
Yeah.
No,
definitely not.
Great answer, guys.
Yep.
And then the next one,
Go ahead.
Cruz, and I guess you too, Matt, because
I
found out that you like coffee.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm in an interesting place with my channel right now because I had a conversation with someone, and man, I don't know if I should do a little bit of lifestyle content on my channel, under the Healthy Bearded umbrella. But I don't know. Maybe on Instagram I would do something like that, on like in a reel or a video or something like that. But yeah,
I'll interview anybody, anywhere, anytime. I don't care. No, and that's kind of with my take on kind of like I'm Beardlaws. Like I don't have a specific thing, like you have, kind of your healthy thing. Obviously, you guys have a product. I just kind of do whatever I want. Like I kind of have a lot of different things going on. So like if it's a cool company and they want to come on and I can help them at all, like I've had Java John Coffee on. He's a great dude. I love his coffee. I had him on the show, and it was really cool. And then Coffee Fanatics is on the show. He's a fanatic of coffee apparently, and
he ruined ice for me, like we were talking about.
Yeah, ruined ice for you last night. He just came on with.
I will not have ice outside my home.
Most unorganic, very ad read for a coffee company, and I was just like,
really?
What are you doing? And I was like, we were live, and I was like, well, that's it. You're going to send us all coffee for this ad read, aren't you? Because apparently, and he was just like, yeah, I owe it to you. So I'm going to get some coffee from that company.
Yeah. No, but Matt, going back to Matt was saying, you never know, man. These companies, you get to talk with the owners. Like, I literally got I'm an ambassador for an energy granola, organic energy bar company. Like the name is called Bearded Brothers. That's the crazy thing.
It looks good too.
And I did a reaction video for them, and they saw it. Like I sent it to them and they loved it. And like the whole team loved it over there. They're like, hey man, you want to be part of an ambassador program? They just sent me their newest product they released. I did a reel. So like, but it makes sense also with my brand, right? Healthy Bearded. But the fact that their company's name is Bearded Brothers is like the funniest thing ever. Like, and they make energy bars.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So question. There's different communities per each platform. You have Instagram, you have Facebook, you have YouTube, you have TikTok, you have LinkedIn, you have it's not Stitch. What's it called? The
Twitch?
the video game.
Twitch.
Sorry, you might have said that and I missed
Twitter.
it. But you have a Twitter, you have all those. What's the purpose of Instagram compared to Facebook? Because to me, truthfully, like who is your audience on Instagram?
Yeah, they're different. They're different audiences. I mean, I have, and this is just for me personally speaking, like you can post the same video and get much different, even though they're the same, but they're not. Like the algorithms are different. And I think Instagram is a much different crowd, you know what I mean, than the Facebook. Like, I mean, we talked about it a little bit backstage, like, the older generations are now on Facebook. The younger like there is more
Snapchat.
I think broad people on Facebook than on Instagram,
Yeah, I don't use Facebook. I mean, I have it, but I don't check it. Like I don't ever check it like that.
Have you ever thought about using a Healthy Bearded Facebook channel though?
Like to create like a
for a Facebook group?
No, I wouldn't want to do that. Like I feel like that's not my style.
Okay.
I think I would want to do something like I did something on Discord at one point.
Okay.
But it's kind of you gotta keep
I was
up.
a part of it.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. So Discord, I would want to do something different or create my own app. Like that's what I don't want to like. Because I would want to do something a little different.
And I think too, just real quick, from like a brand perspective, Facebook is a great place. Yes, they're intertwined, but I've had a lot of success and was able to reach a whole different kind of crew. Like I went from probably like 1,000 people on Facebook, and then within 2 or 3 months, it's jumped to 60,000 that are followed and stuff like that just by doing
Interesting.
reels, because they push I don't know if they still are, but they push their reels, so the short content. So I will post the same video on Instagram reel, Facebook reel,
Oh yeah.
and have much different results. But even with the show, when that's live on there and the rewatches and stuff, there's just thousands of people there compared to Instagram, compared to this. Like, so I don't generally say this is YouTube, especially show related. I look at it as the brand. Like, it's going to be on Facebook. I don't care. Go to Facebook, go to YouTube, go to Twitter, go to Twitch. I don't care.
Give me
Go
something
there,
to think
enjoy
about.
the one. And it gives them, in my opinion, a comfort level, because Twitch people don't always align with YouTube people who don't have the same as face. It's just a weird.
It's a
weird
different
and you were-
community. It really is.
it really
you were
is.
saying, how some of the older community will use Facebook, some of the younger ones. So that's a kind of a good way to hit different age graphics too.
Yep,
So,
there are different markets that I've personally seen, at least with Beardlaws.
yeah.
Interesting. You gave me something to think about.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
me
like I
too.
said, it popped quick, and it's been very engaging and just very creepy at times. Lots and lots of messages. I probably get 75 messages a day and a whole bunch of beard pictures from people all over the world.
Yeah.
Really.
I don't know why that's
thirsty
a thing.
comments?
Just a picture of them. Like, what do you
Huh?
want me to say? Like, cool, yeah.
Well, Matt sometimes encourages people to send him some nasty pictures. So
Yeah. Well, that's the Logan at beardlaws.com.
there you go.
Periscope. I forgot all about that one.
Oh wow. Yeah, I
You
remember
can miss it though,
Periscope.
because Twitter has it integrated now.
Yeah.
Huh?
So they
See,
don't
I'm
need,
not
they
on
didn't need
Twitter.
Periscope.
I need to.
Yeah, you can push your show live on there, and it does fairly well for a guy that doesn't do anything with Twitter.
Huh. Let's do it.
Yeah, there's just some things to think about, definitely.
Well, I've learned a lot, and I appreciate everyone in the chat that's commented. If we missed anything, I apologize. I was really focusing on these guys and making sure that I heard them properly and asked
And that
the right
Cruz was
questions, so-
awake.
and make sure Cruz was awake.
We'll get him that refill, Mrs. Bruce City.
Oh God. The hotel coffee.
Oh yeah.
That
No,
was
Matt, you
bad.
missed it. So when we were in release Bourbon Bayou, and we went to New Orleans, and so we went and actually saw some really cool games. We saw LSU versus Auburn
Oh, that was
out down in Baton
amazing.
Rouge. Dude, it was epic.
That's amazing.
Wow.
And then we went to the Saints game against the Giants, and I'll tell you that was really, really cool. Amazing food, amazing fans, all that. Nothing beat LSU versus
Yeah,
Auburn.
nothing beat LSU Stadium. No, way
But,
better experience.
But the point being, the whole thing about the coffee thing is he's bougie. He didn't like the coffee. We bought this 55-gallon jug, I swear, of coffee. He made us go down to the hotel and say, this isn't good enough. So they had to come up and bring up Starbucks for him because the hotel coffee wasn't good enough.
Well, to be honest, I think I might have brought it up.
No,
first.
it was Casey. Casey was like, "This
It was
tastes
me.
burnt," and I'm like, "Okay." And then the lady was like, "Oh, we'll get you some Starbucks coffee or something." And then it came up, and then I had like a cup and a half for a $55
Yeah.
thing. I'm like,
It was
oh,
an
God.
expensive coffee.
And the LSU game, that was like a CMU. That was
my-
hype as a CMU, man.
Oh, it was
Oh,
so
it was
great.
cool.
It was so great.
It was good. It was awesome.
But yeah, Matt, one day you're going to have to come to one of our little
Oh,
gatherings.
yeah.
So we're going to have to do an East Coast next month or next year maybe because we're doing Jackson
yeah, we'll
Hole
go out
this year.
Cruz's way.
I mean,
Oh,
I'm
heck
just
yeah.
saying, the river that I'm on is, one of the best smallmouth bass fishings in the entire
Oh.
United
Shut the front
States.
door.
There
Really?
you go.
Yeah, Bassmasters, ESPN Bassmasters, they come up every year on
Oh,
my river.
nice.
Wow.
So if we decide to come sometime in late June, early July next year, it's something maybe we could do.
Absolutely, and the
Cruz, would you be
Bassmasters
up
is
to going fly
always
fishing?
Yeah,
August.
heck yeah.
August
down.
is when it is usually the
Oh,
Bassmasters.
dude.
That'd be
How
cool.
We
cool.
can get you on
I know.
ESPN.
Dude, when I was in the hospital, with COVID, and after I had been starting to recover and the medicine was working, all that kind of stuff, I watched two shows, Bassmasters and Impractical Jokers, because that was all that was on. Everything else was soap operas.
I love Impractical
And I-
Jokers, but they're done now.
No, they're
Are
not.
they?
I thought Joe just quit because he got a divorce.
Yeah, So I don't know if they're going to film anymore. They called to see if I wanted to fill in, but I just didn't think I could fit it.
That would have been,
Dude,
that would have
Joe's
been perfect.
Well, what would have happened is I would have lost it. I would have went to the big one and it would have been like, you have to shave your beard. The first one, I would have been like, no, I'm not doing it. You can't not do it. Yeah, well, Joe quit. And I do too.
And I do too.
Well, I appreciate you guys. We're over our time that
Yes,
I
we
told
are.
you by 10 minutes. But guys, everyone. No, you shut up, Brett. Yeah, Smoky Mountains or Panama City Beach meetup, Tyson. You know, we're going to be around a long time, Billy. That's it's going to happen one of these times. My goal is to hit like every part of this country.
So Wyoming is going to be the next national beard competition. If you happen to work. Yeah, it's going to be
Where?
this. I have the date. I don't remember.
For this year?
This year, yeah. So it's going to be
not too far from
fall
me.
2022 in Wyoming.
So it has to be Jackson Hole because everywhere else is.
I don't
Wyoming.
remember where it is, but if you go to the Talking Beards, Aaron and Scott broke it the news a couple of weeks, probably a month or so ago, but they actually have a calendar of every beard contest that Aaron put out, beardcalendar.com or something like that. And if you go there, I think they have the national one on there.
The only place I can think of is Jackson Hole because Laramie. I mean, Laramie is their capital, but and then you have Gillette, which is a mining company or city, and
it wasn't a city that Casper was it? Maybe that.
Ooh,
Casper's a little, I can see.
Or Pinedale. There's Pinedale.
I'll look it up. We don't have to hold the viewers unless everybody's like waiting around for this.
That, or I can go look it up at the site too.
Yeah, it's in Casper. Yep.
Oh wow.
Ford Wyoming Center in Casper, Wyoming, November 12th, 2022.
It's going to be freezing up there.
Listen, not for guys like me. We'll be just fine.
That's why we bring our beards. We'll stay warm.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time. It's from what I hear, it's an awesome venue, and they're going to do it right. Like
I'll be there. I'll definitely be there because
I'm planning to be there as
it's only
well.
a few hours away from me.
It's a long ride for me.
Yeah, it's very long for you guys, but all right, everyone. I appreciate you in the chat. Cruz, Casey, Matt, anything you want to say before we take off?
Yeah, follow all of these dudes on social medias. They're awesome. Healthy bearded, bushy beard. Obviously, you know Copper John. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate everybody watching. That's all I got.
Awesome.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Night.